Absolutely. Say it again, y'all. What? Absolutely. Listen to me.
Welcome to wrestlerant HD. You're watching America's #1 professional wrestling rant show. I'm your host, Angelo Demetrius. What a historic week in professional wrestling this has been. What a phenomenal pay-per-view Night of Champions was. We're going to get to two matches, the only two matches that I believe were important at Night of Champions. And we're going to start with the first one right here on wrestlerant HD. CM Punk versus Triple H. Phil Brooks versus Paul Levesque. Now, many of you may weigh on this differently. Many of you may think that the match between Triple H and CM Punk didn't go the way it should have. I actually think it was perfect. The way everybody played their parts, the way Kevin Nash ran into the ring like we didn't know that was going to happen, the way John Laurinaitis texted Kevin Nash to come into the ring and interfere and take out not only the COO Triple H, but CM Punk, his challenger. Many questions were answered at the Night of Champions concerning Triple H and CM Punk. Questions about what's going to happen while Triple H is the chief operating officer, and questions about what's going to happen to CM Punk's future. I believe CM Punk is on his way. The WWE is actually trying to catapult CM Punk further along in his career in professional wrestling than he's ever been. So I want to say to CM Punk first, CM Punk, you are taking tremendous strides in the WWE. Buddy, I wish you all the best of luck as a fan, and I hope to see more of what the WWE is going to do for you. Now to you, WWE, do not mess this up. You've tested him. He's proven now. Now, let CM Punk be the leader that he can be. Sure, do your thing with John Cena right now. Do the thing with John Cena and The Rock. Nobody wants to see that more than me. But remember this. You need a strong backbone like CM Punk to hold your company afloat. Moving right along. The whole thing with the WWE, CM Punk and Triple H is finally out in the open. Conspiracy or no conspiracy? That is the question. I think CM Punk has answered all the questions that we as fans have had about professional wrestling. Not like I don't do that each week here on wrestlerant, but the thing is that WWE really does, well, should I say WWE or should I say Vince McMahon, really does prefer big superstars over small ones. Also, WWE seems to have a preference to certain kinds of superstar abilities in the ring. I noticed that they like high flyers. Did you? Also notice that when they do choose bigger guys, they normally like guys that are big and can talk. I'm not sure what direction WWE really wants to go with professional wrestling, or if it wants to go with professional wrestling at all, but I do know this. WWE, your politics, conspiracies, whatever you want to call them, in your locker room have got to end if you want to present a viable product to the professional wrestling fan like me. Each week I tune into your program. I tune in to see some of the best matches that I've ever seen. I don't want to have to keep going back to the 90s and the 80s and the 70s to see some of the greatest matches that there ever were. WWE, I want to see some of the greatest matches there ever could be now. But that's up to you to make that happen, World Wrestling Entertainment. We, the fan, demand better from you, WWE. Okay, listen. The whole thing with the guest host coming back to Monday Night Raw is lame. I'm not even going to beat around the bush about that. Hugh Jackman, come on guys. Look, I like X-Men too, but the whole thing's over. If Hugh wanted to sit there as a fan and enjoy the show like everybody else, I would not have had a problem with it. But WWE, you want to bring back guest hosts. Well, I don't want to go on a rant or anything, but this is what I want as a professional wrestling fan. First, I want you to bring somebody on WWE programming that's actually professional wrestling related. Second, I want you to bring somebody on there that knows the business, and if they're going to get in that ring, they're going to participate in the ring. Third, if they're going to participate in the ring, I want you to make sure that they're not only able to participate in the ring, but that they're able to carry the story in the show. Not only that, I want you to make sure that we as fans are entertained when that special guest is there. They can't just be anybody, maybe a Hall of Famer, maybe somebody who hasn't been in the ring in a long time. I want that and entertainment all at the same time, and not to go on a rant or anything. Woo, 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 you know it. Look, Zack Ryder is great. I appreciate that CM Punk wanted him on the card. I appreciate CM Punk wanted him on TV. But really, what does Zack Ryder do except entertain you, which is good, and go in there and do the occasional jobber job? Look, Zack Ryder might be cut out to be some sort of assistant to Teddy Long, but that's about it. Is Zack Ryder really championship worthy? I don't know. But he did beat the United States champion. Not like that title matters. He did beat the United States champion. Perhaps Zack Ryder should be wearing Dolph Ziggler's United States Heavyweight Championship. Just a thought, WWE. Now fans, as WrestleRant HD continues, I want you to remember that you are watching America's #1 professional wrestling rant show, WrestleRant HD. This is WrestleRant. We'll be back after this.
In a world where professional wrestling has gone all wrong, one man must work to make a difference.
Got to make a difference.
He must work to become the ice pick under WWE's toenail, the thumb in their eye, the itch on their back that they can't seem to scratch, oh well, you get the picture. WrestleRant HD on YouTube.com. Don't be a little Jimmy. Watch WrestleRant.
Welcome back to WrestleRant HD, America's #1 professional wrestling rant show. Now, let's talk about the fact that The Miz and R-Truth are unemployed. Listen, guys, it's rough out there. Good luck to you. Maybe McDonald's is hiring. R-Truth, maybe you can go back to TNA. You know, you could still be Ron the Truth Killings. Yeah, good luck with that. Anyway, Miz and R-Truth made their mark in the WWE as singles competitors, and Miz mostly as a tag team competitor with his buddy John Morrison. But are the Miz and R-Truth really out of the picture? Well, only time will tell. We don't really know until the WWE gets past its bi-monther pay-per-view phase. Once they do, no telling how the Miz and R-Truth will reappear. Don't forget the Royal Rumble is coming up in January. so they could show back up there. Also, don't forget that, well, WWE superstars like anybody else, you or me, need time off from their job. Let's wait it out a little bit and see if The Miz and R-Truth really are unemployed. Because if they are, you better vote for that Jobs Act, buddy. Now, how many of you have heard the news that the WWE is spawning its own new network? What does this mean? Well, it does mean you can go back to yesteryear and look at some of the greatest wrestling matches that have ever happened in that ring. Unfortunately, it may also mean that we'll be subject to some of the worst movies that have ever been made since film was created. There are good sides and bad sides to what WWE wants to do with a network. The good sides, well, wrestling. The bad side, everything they try to associate with wrestling that should never be associated with wrestling. You might even have to watch that terrible movie, The Wrestler. Anyway, WWE having their own network, I think actually is a good idea. Maybe they can have one place for a home for Raw and SmackDown and any other show that they want to create. My personal feeling on this is that WWE is making the right move by making their own network. Good job, WWE. Now, how many of you were watching Friday Night SmackDown and you noticed the same thing that I did? The table just wouldn't break. Did anybody see the look of pain on Randy Orton's face when he dropped Cody Rhodes on that table and got up and it didn't break? I think we need to be firing somebody in the production staff. Whoever is in charge of making sure the tables break when you drop on them in any way, form, or fashion needs to be reprimanded and or fired. That's what I would do if my superstars were in danger of perhaps losing their life or risking injury to their great physical health. Also, I've noticed that WWE has started going back to color. Now, for those of you that don't know what color is in professional wrestling, that means that WWE has started to use blood again. I don't know if Cody took a blade, or I don't know if somebody bladed him for him, but I do know this. Color in professional wrestling is important. And whether it's the classic blade at the top of the forehead or an incision to the side, like we often see Ric Flair do, color is important to professional wrestling for one reason and one reason only. To make you and me, the professional wrestling fan, believe. After all, isn't that what it's about? Making us believe everything that we see. And even if you don't believe what you see, you have to admit you're entertained. Because it is professional wrestling. Now, I want you to stay tuned for this very important announcement. We will return here on WrestleRant HD.
I have a dream. My poor little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream.
Welcome back to WrestleRant HD. This is America's #1 professional wrestling rant show, regardless of what the WWE might want you to believe. Now, we have on our hands a history-making epic event. For the third time ever in World Wrestling Entertainment history, fans, we have our third ever African American heavyweight champion. And I would like to take this time to congratulate Mark Henry. Mark, I as an African American professional wrestling fan am proud of you. As I was proud of Ron Simmons, as I was proud of The Rock, as I was proud of Booker T. Mark, I don't know what to say. You have really made me proud. And I, as every other African American professional wrestling fan would like to take this time to say thank you for making it happen. You are the very best, and that belt says so. Mark, you've worked hard in this business for 15 years, and you've deserved everything that you've gotten. You deserve that nameplate on that belt. Mark Henry, you are an inspiration to African American athletes everywhere. African American professional wrestlers everywhere. Mark, I look forward to seeing more of you in that ring. And fans, speaking of which, have you noticed that Mark Henry's prowess in the ring has increased? Have you noticed that no matter what opponent they put in that ring against him, he runs over? Mark Henry may very well be the most dangerous world heavyweight champion that World Wrestling Entertainment has ever had. Mark, you're one of a kind. And it may be true, fans. No one may be able to take that belt from around the waist of the world's strongest man, Mark Henry. Hopefully it doesn't happen at Hell in a Cell. Not at a bye month or WWE. Please, have more respect for the man. If it must happen, let it happen at one of your major staples. Perhaps the Survivor Series. Perhaps even the Royal Rumble. But please, not Hell in a Cell. If it's really his first time in that cell, let him prove himself. Well, fans, that's it for this edition of wrestlerant HD. I'm your host, Angelo Demetrius, saying I hope you will join me here next week for more wrestlerant HD. You can see us every week on YouTube.com and at ClickWrestle.com. Don't be a little Jimmy. Watch wrestlerant. Good. Bye, everybody.